Are you able to see the screen, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. In the last class, we discussed few examples, and we have covered that is electric field due to charge circular derivation, one of the important derivations, maybe asked an examination. Okay. Then we have solved an example considering 2-point charges and finding the electric force located at some point, and also finding the electric field intensity at that point. Next is electric flux density. Now, before knowing what is electric flux density, we have to know what is electric flux. Okay, if you are considering a closed sphere, with the charge q located at the center, let us say there is a closed sphere and there is a charge q located at the center of the sphere, right? And there are no other charges, only one charge is present, say the charge q present at the center of the sphere. So because of the charge present at the center of the sphere, what will happen? The flux due to this charge is distributed radially outward towards the surface of the sphere. The charge which is present at the center, from there the flux is distributed radially outwards. Radially outwards means towards the surface of the sphere. The flux is distributed towards the surface of the sphere, and also the flux will be distributed around the surface of the sphere. The flux will also be distributed surrounding the surface of the sphere, okay, due to the charge present q at the center of the sphere, right? The total flux distributes radially outward radially around the charge, that is psi is equal to q. Here we are considering the flux, electric flux psi, which is proportional to the charge, because more the number of charges, more will be the flux lines. Less the number of charges, less will be the number of flux lines. Is it not? Hence, the flux lines is considered, or the flux is considered as directly proportional to the charge. Now, if we remove the constant of proportionality, or if we are considering the constant of proportionality as 1, then the charge psi becomes equal to q. Okay, so when we are considering the constant of proportionality as 1, when you are assuming that constant of proportionality as 1, then the charge psi becomes equal to q. Okay, because both are in the same medium, constant of proportionality we can assume it as 1, and hence the charge psi becomes equal to q. Okay, that is, we can consider the charge q as though it is a flux, or we can consider the flux to be equal to the charge q. This flux distributes now uniformly over the surface of the sphere. Psi is the total flux, S is the total surface area of the sphere. We have considered the sphere, let the surface area of the sphere be S. Then the electric flux density is given by the formula D is equal to psi divided by S. D is equal to flux by area. That is, electric flux density is given by the total flux divided by total area, or flux per unit area. That gives the value of the electric flux density. Hence, here the formula written is D is equal to psi by S in magnitude. What is the unit of D, students? If psi is in, say, coulomb, because it is nothing but the electric charge, and the area is in meters square. Okay, we'll see that what is the exact area of the sphere. Next, we are considering that. Suppose, say, the area is in meters square and the charge or the flux is in coulomb. Then what will be the unit? Unit of electric flux density will be coulomb per meter square. Coulomb per meter square. Psi is coulomb and S area is meter square. Therefore, coulomb per meter square will be the unit of the electric flux density. Now let us move on to finding the electric flux density in the vector form. What is the electric flux density in the vector form? Consider this figure here. We are considering again the small surface ds. This is a small surface ds, incremental surface, and the electric flux lines are passing, surrounding and through this surface ds. There are electric flux lines which are passing through this surface and surrounding the surface ds. We want to find the electric flux density at the point P. Here the point P is shown, right, with a dot. At that particular point P, we are interested in finding the electric flux density. If we want to find the electric flux density at the point P, right, what are the factors that we have to consider? Let us look into them. Then this is our surface ds, it is written here ds. Then this is d bar. D bar is nothing but the electric flux density, okay, which is passing through the surface here, through the surface. Then an bar is the unit vector of this electric flux density, which is along the same direction as that of the unit vector. The direction of the electric flux density passing through the surface and the unit vector an bar are same. That means what? The direction of the electric flux density is in the same direction as that of the electric flux lines. Yes or no? The direction of the electric flux density d bar is along the same direction as that of the electric flux lines. Okay. Now let us see what is the representation of the electric flux density in the vector form. Flux density at point P can be represented in the vector form as follows. Flux density at the point P is represented in the vector form as below here. That is, d bar is equal to d psi by ds an bar coulomb per meter square. D bar is equal to d psi by ds. Why I have taken d bar is equal to d psi by ds? Yes. Why I have taken d bar is equal to d psi by ds? What is the reason? Can anybody tell me? D bar is d psi by ds. Why? And why we have taken an bar? Yes, students. What is the reason that we are considering d bar is equal to d psi by ds? Yes, please. What is the reason? Come on, tell me. Why we have to consider it as
Flux density for a single charge calculation of flux density.
Exactly. Very good. It is the formula for the flux density. At the beginning itself, I have told when I was explaining the first slide that the electric flux density is the flux per unit area. It is flux per unit area, or d bar is given by flux divided by area. Hence here we are considering d bar is equal to d psi by ds. The d psi is the flux and ds is the area, the surface area. Okay. Then an bar, here we are considering the unit vector an bar, which gives the direction of this electric flux density d bar. Okay. Hence, to represent the direction, we are considering the unit vector an bar, and the unit is coulomb per meter square. Coulomb per meter square. That is, the flux unit is coulomb because it is same as that of the charge, and the unit of the area is meter square. Okay. Where d psi is the total flux lines crossing normal through differential area ds. D psi is how many flux lines are crossing, because these flux lines, if you look here, they are perpendicular to the surface ds. Correct? The flux lines passing through the surface ds are perpendicular. It is shown in 3-dimensional. Okay, if you actually visualize this, the flux lines are normal. They are perpendicular to this surface ds. Fine. ds is the differential surface area, and an bar is the unit vector in the direction normal to the differential surface area. Unit vector is normal to differential surface area ds. It is also perpendicular to ds. Next, d bar due to the point charge. Due to the point charge, what will be the electric flux density? Let's see the formula and the other related points about this. We are again considering the charge q or plus q placed at the center of the imaginary sphere of radius r. We are considering some charge, say plus q, placed at the center of the sphere, at the center of the sphere with the radius r. The radius of the sphere is r, small r. Flux lines which originate from the charge plus q, again the same point. The flux charge or the flux lines here, flux lines which are coming from the point charge plus q are directed radially outward in all the directions. They are directed radially outward in all the directions from the center towards the circumference of the sphere or towards the surface of the sphere. Okay. magnitude of flux density at any point on the surface. If we find the formula for the flux density at any point on the surface, if we consider any point on the surface of the sphere, then what will be the flux density? That is, it is given by d bar is equal to total flux psi divided by total surface area. Yes, the total flux psi that is coming out from the charge q, that divided by total surface area gives the total electric flux density on the surface of the sphere. But psi is equal to q. We know that psi is equal to q, that is the total flux. Psi is the electric flux and q is the charge enclosed. And S is equal to, what is the area of the sphere, student? Surface area of the sphere. Can anybody tell me? What is the formula of the surface area of the sphere? That is a sphere. Circular, say circular, shape. What is its area? Yes, please. What is the area of the surface area of the sphere? Mathematical formula for the surface area of the sphere.
4 pi r
4 pi r square. Excellent. It is 4 pi r square. That is, S is equal to 4 pi r square, where 4 pi r square is the total surface area of the sphere. Okay. So this is the sphere, students, that I was explaining here. This is a point charge which is emanating the flux lines, which is, from which the flux lines are coming and they are in the direction towards the surface of the sphere. The directions you can see are the arrow marks, right? The flux lines are from the center of the sphere and they are along the directed radially outward. Radially means along the radius. Radially means along the radius, they are directed towards the surface of the sphere. These are the flux lines. Okay. Then d bar, this is the electric flux density d bar. AR bar, that is radial vector. It is same as good as normal component because both are same. Normal to this surface, small surface ds, if you are considering, then the radius vector and the normal vector, they are almost same. Hence we are considering AR bar is equal to AN bar. They are in the same direction and both are equivalent, and hence we are considering AR bar is equal to AN bar, the radius vector and the normal component. Okay. That is, AR bar is equal to AN bar. Normal component is the component or the unit vector which is perpendicular to this surface ds. AR bar is the radial component, that is the radius of the sphere which is directed radially outwards. Okay, it is also the normal to the surface only, and hence we are considering AR bar is equal to AN bar. AR bar is equal to AN bar. Okay. Therefore, we write the formula d bar is equal to q by 4 pi r square, where q is the charge present inside the surface, and 4 pi r square is the surface area of the sphere. The unit vector is directed radially outwards and normal to the surface at any point on the sphere, and hence AN bar is equal to AR bar. That's what I told. Unit vector is directed radially outwards. It is as good as the radius vector, and it is also perpendicular to the surface ds as that of the radius vector. Okay, hence we consider AN bar is equal to AR bar. Then finally, what is the formula here for the point charge? The electric flux density is q divided by 4 pi r square AR bar coulomb per meter square. You have to use this unit vector. If you leave this unit vector, then you will get the answer wrong, because this unit vector represents the direction of the electric flux density. The flux lines may be from the center towards the surface or from the surface towards the center. It has a particular direction. Okay, hence it is a vector. Electric flux density is a vector quantity. It's a vector field, a vector quantity. Hence we are representing the magnitude along with the direction in the formula of the electric flux density. I hope you all are following. Yes, students, any difficulty up till here? Everyone are following? Yes, please. Everyone are following here? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. Next, we'll find out the relationship between d bar, that is electric flux density, and the electric field intensity. In the last class, we discussed about the electric field intensity. We have solved few examples on electric field intensity. First, we derived the formula for electric field intensity, okay, due to a charged circular ring, and then we solved the examples on electric field intensity, okay, where we have used the relationship for the electric field intensity or the formula of the electric field intensity. Okay, electric field intensity at a distance r from point charge plus q. Let us say there is a point charge plus q. Okay, from that point charge plus q, if you are considering at a distance r, then what will be the electric field intensity? There is a charge plus q. From the charge plus q, there is a radial distance at a distance of r. Okay, we are considering some point at a distance of r from the charge q. We have to find out what is the formula for the electric field intensity, or we have to write down the formula for the electric field intensity at the point, some point from the, at the distance r from the charge plus q. So that formula is written as E is equal to, we know the formula already. Formula of the electric field intensity, we know it is E bar is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR bar. Okay, this is the formula of the electric field intensity. We have discussed this in the previous 2 classes back. Okay, E bar is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR bar. Then what is the formula for the electric flux density? That we just now written down. D is equal to Q by 4 pi R square AR bar Coulomb per meter square. Here there is no epsilon naught term in the electric flux density. Okay, whereas in the electric field intensity formula, there is a epsilon naught term. Okay, let us see what will be the relationship between D and E. Dividing the equation of D bar and E bar at the point charge plus Q, what we will get? Equation of D is, this is the equation for D, is Q by 4 pi R square AR bar Coulomb per meter square. Write it. Q by 4 pi R square AR bar Coulomb per meter square. Then write the formula for the electric field intensity, that is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR bar volt per meter. Okay, electric field intensity unit is volt per meter. Then what will cancel here, students? Q by 4 pi R square and Q by 4 pi R square will cancel. AR bar and AR bar will cancel. Therefore, what we'll get? D by E is equal to 1. This numerator is 1. Okay, 1 divided by 1 upon epsilon naught. Denominator of the denominator will come to the numerator. Hence, we'll get D by E is equal to epsilon naught. If you simplify this, same terms will cancel out each other, and you'll get D by E is equal to epsilon naught. D by E is equal to epsilon naught. Okay, that means what it indicates here, students, D is equal to epsilon naught times the electric field intensity. The electric flux density D is epsilon naught times the electric field intensity, or in mathematical form it is written as D bar is equal to epsilon E or epsilon naught E. Okay, if you are considering free space, then its relative permittivity is 1, epsilon R is 1, therefore it will be simply D by E is equal to epsilon naught, or D is equal to epsilon naught E. But if you are considering any other medium other than the air medium or other than the free space, then it will be D is equal to epsilon naught epsilon R E. D is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon R into E. In general, we write it as D is equal to epsilon E, where epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon R. Correct? D bar is equal to epsilon into E bar. For free space, it will be D bar is equal to epsilon naught E bar. If you are considering any other medium, then it will be D bar is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon R into E bar. Now let us evaluate for the volume charge distribution. Let us find the formula for the volume charge distribution. What will be the formula of the electric flux density? What will be the relation between, and using the relationship between D bar and E bar, or D and E. We know the formula for the charge in terms of volume charge density. It is integral over the volume rho V dV. Okay, because what is rho V? Rho V is charge per unit volume. It is a volume charge density, charge per unit volume. So Q by V or Q by dV, and dV will get cancelled. Here there is dV in the numerator. Rho V is Q by dV or dQ by dV. So this dV in the denominator and dV in the numerator will get cancelled, and we'll get LHS is equal to RHS. LHS is equal to Q, and RHS will also be equal to Q. Then what is the formula for E bar? E bar, which is nothing but Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR bar. Am I right? E bar is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR bar. But what is Q? Substitute that. Q is in the numerator volume integral rho V dV divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR bar. We also know that d bar is equal to epsilon naught E bar. Just now we derived that d bar is equal to epsilon naught into E bar. We are finding for free space volume charge distribution. Therefore, epsilon r will be 1. Hence, the formula is d bar is equal to epsilon naught into E bar. Or what is d bar? E bar we know here. This is our E bar. Then multiply this term by epsilon naught. Okay. So what we'll get, students? Epsilon naught into E bar. Epsilon naught in the numerator and epsilon naught in the denominator will get cancelled out, and hence we'll get d bar is equal to volume integral rho v dv divided by 4 pi r square AR bar. This is the electric flux density considering the volume charge distribution. Okay. For the volume charge distribution, the flux density is given by the formula d bar is equal to volume integral rho v dv divided by 4 pi r square AR bar. Okay. Is it clear up till here, students? Any doubts, any questions up till here? I hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions up till here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, right. Let us take this example, students. Let us solve this. Note down this example. Find D, that is electric flux density in the region about a uniform line charge of 8 nanocoulomb per meter lying along the Z axis in free space. Assume R is equal to 3 meters. Note down this example. Noted, students? Question? We'll solve it. We'll solve this. So first note down the statement. Is it taken, students? I hope you have noted down the statement, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Read the question. Find a D, that is electric flux density in the region about a uniform line charge, that is in the region of the uniform line charge, which is having line charge density of 8 nanocoulomb per meter. The density of the line charge is 8 nanocoulomb per meter. It is lying along the Z axis. So we have X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. So this uniform line charge is lying along the Z axis in free space. In free space, that means epsilon r is equal to 1. Then we are supposed to assume the distance of the point where we are finding the, that is electric flux density as r equal to 3 meters. The point where we are supposed to find the electric flux density, okay, that is r is equal to 3 meters. So considering that they are not given the coordinates here, at what coordinate point we are supposed to find the electric flux density? Yes, they are given the distance. Okay, so if they are giving only the distance, then we have to find it in terms of AR. We don't know AR. AR is the R vector divided by its magnitude. The distance vector divided by its magnitude gives the AR vector, unit vector, correct? But they are not given the coordinates of the point where we are supposed to, or where we are finding the value of electric flux density. Hence, we are finding the answer in terms of the vector, unit vector AR only. Okay. the electric field is given by the formula E is equal to rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR. We know the formula for the electric field intensity. If the line charge is lying on the Z axis, infinite line charge, okay, due to the infinite line charge, the electric field intensity is given by the formula. We have derived this equation for electric field intensity. Okay, the equation is given by E bar is equal to rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR. E bar is equal to rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR bar. That is the equation for the electric field intensity due to the infinite line charge. Okay. Substitute the given values. Rho L is given, that is 8 nanocoulomb per meter, 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi. Epsilon naught value is 8.854 into 10 to minus 12 into R. You'll substitute that value of R later into AR. So E is find out in terms of this value AR and R. Simplify this, students, see how much you will get. 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi into 8.854 into 10 to minus 12. Check this answer, how much you are getting. 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi into 8.854 into 10 to minus 12. Just tell me the answer. Substitute rho L. Rho L is 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi into epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to minus 12. Find out that value, how much you are getting in terms of AR and R.
143.8.
Is it not? It is 143.8 divided by R AR bar volt per meter, electric field intensity volt per meter. Next, they are asked to assume R is equal to 3 meters. That is the point at which you are finding the electric flux density or the electric field intensity. That is at the distance R is equal to 3 meters. Hence, 143.8 divided by 3 meters. That will be how much? 47.9 AR volt per meter. If you divide 143.8 divided by 3 meters, we'll get the answer as E is equal to 47.9 AR volt per meter. Okay. Then the formula for D, it is epsilon naught E, because they are asked to assume free space condition. That is epsilon naught into E value is rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR. E is rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR. Substitute epsilon naught cancels. It will be rho L divided by 2 pi R AR. Rho L divided by 2 pi R AR. Rho L is known, 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi into radius is the distance is 3 meters into AR. So at R is equal to 3 meters. Simplify this and tell me the answer. 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi into 3. How much you will get? Rho L is 8 into 10 to minus 9 divided by 2 pi into 3. Okay, simplify this term and tell me the answer.
Sir, 4.24, 244, sir.
Okay, 4.24. Okay, it is okay. But tell me in terms of
10 to minus
nanocoulomb.
10. So into 10 to minus 10.
Correct. If you shift by 1 decimal places, it will be 0.424 into 10 to minus 9. Am I right? If you shift by 1 decimal places, it will be 0.424 into 10 to minus 9. 4.24 you are getting, no? Okay, if you are
Yes, sir.
shifting by 1 decimal places, 0.4 if you take into 10, you do. Again, you are getting original value, 4 point. So 10
Yes,
into
sir.
10 to minus 10 is 10 to minus 9. Correct? So it will be
Yes, sir.
0.424 AR nanocoulomb meter. This is our answer for the electric flux density at the given point R is equal to 3 meters. AR we should not forget. It is D is equal to 0.424 AR nanocoulomb per meter in terms of the unit vector AR. Okay. I hope this example is clear to everyone. This example is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Next, one more important law here, students, called as the Gauss law. one of the important laws, and many times it has been asked in examination to write the definition and explain Gauss law in mathematical form. Gauss law is defined in this way. The statement of the Gauss law goes like this: the electric flux passing through any closed surface, the electric flux passing through any closed surface is nothing but the total charge enclosed within that surface. What does it state? The electric flux passing through any closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by that surface. This is the statement of the Gauss law. Okay, that means if you are considering any irregular shape object, I am considering one irregular shape object here. This is some object which is having irregular shape, closed surface it is. It should be a closed surface, remember, that is important. Closed irregular surface. This is a small area I have considered ds. Okay, then this is unit vector an bar at the point P, which is perpendicular to the surface ds. It is an bar, normal component, or the unit vector an bar. Then d bar. D bar is our electric flux density. D bar is the electric flux density. There is some angle between d bar and an bar. If you look into the previous figure, if you look this figure here, I'll show that. Look here, d bar and an bar, they are in the same direction, okay, because it is a regular surface, a uniform surface, right? Now whatever surface we are considering is irregular. Therefore d bar and an bar, they will be having certain angle between them. D bar and a bar, there is a certain angle, but here there is no angle because it's a uniform surface, a regular surface, correct? Hence we are having a certain angle. There is a certain angle between d bar and an bar. Let us consider it as theta. Okay, so this is our adjacent component, this is the opposite component, this is our hypotenuse. Note that this an bar is the adjacent component. Okay, d bar to an bar is the opposite component, and P to d bar is our hypotenuse. Okay, remember this. Total charge enclosed by the closed surface is q coulombs. Let us consider that the total charge enclosed by closed surface is q coulombs. Hence, the total flux that has to pass through the closed surface is q. We know that, correct? It is very much clear because from the beginning we have considered, or what is the consideration? The charge q is nothing but it is equal to the total flux. Q is equal to psi, correct? Hence, the total flux that has to pass through the closed surface is q. Consider small differential surface ds or small surface ds at the point P. Consider the small surface ds at the point P here. Surface ds can be represented in the vector form as follows. The ds component, that is a ds surface, is represented in the vector form. How do you represent in the vector form? What is the meaning of vector form? Has to consider both the magnitude and the direction. Okay, that is the meaning of vector. Vector means it has to have the magnitude, it should possess the direction also. That is our unit vector. Hence, ds bar is equal to ds into an bar. Ds is the magnitude, an bar is the, that is unit vector, direction, correct? Area is ds, so it is magnitude is ds, and the unit vector is an bar. This an bar is normal to surface ds at the point P. Yes or no, friends? This ds to this ds surface, an bar is the normal component. It is perpendicular to the surface ds. An bar is perpendicular to the area ds. Mathematically, d psi is equal to dn into ds, correct? Because electric flux density is flux divided by area, that is d psi divided by ds is electric flux density d. Therefore, d psi I can write it as dn into ds. Then what is dn here? Dn is the normal component or the component along the unit vector direction. Okay, if you consider if you want this d bar along an bar, then how will you find that? See here, cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent side. Adjacent side is from P to an bar. Adjacent side. Hypotenuse is P to d bar. Okay, so cos theta is adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is d bar. Therefore, adjacent side will be cos theta into d bar. Okay, yes or no? Understood this? See, cos theta, this is our adjacent side, P bar to an bar. Opposite side is d bar to an bar. Then hypotenuse is P to d bar. Yes, so cos theta will be adjacent side, that is P to an bar, that is adjacent side. then divided by hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is d bar. We are finding normal component of d bar along the en bar direction. Cos theta is adjacent side by d bar, or adjacent side is equal to d bar into cos theta. Therefore, we'll get dn is equal to d bar cos theta. dn is equal to d bar cos theta. Therefore, what will be the equation, students, here? D psi is equal to d bar cos theta ds. That is, dn is here, substitute in the above formula. Normal component of d is d bar cos theta. Therefore, d psi will be d bar cos theta ds. Take it as equation 3. D psi is d bar cos theta ds. Yes. From the definition of dot product, we know that A dot B is equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of B vector into cosine of angle theta between A vector and the B vector. What does the definition of dot product say? A dot B is equal to magnitude of vector A into magnitude of vector B into cosine of the angle theta between vector A and vector B. According to this, we can write d bar dot ds. Look at the previous equation. This is d bar ds into cos theta. So it is as good as a dot product of d bar into ds. Am I right? D bar dot ds. D bar vector dot ds vector. That is nothing but d bar, magnitude of d bar vector into magnitude of ds vector into cosine of the angle theta between d bar and ds. Correct? Therefore, I am writing here d bar dot ds is equal to magnitude of d vector into magnitude of ds vector into cosine of the angle theta, because it is as good as A dot B is equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cosine of angle theta. This term, that is our RHS here, that is magnitude of A. This d bar is as good as magnitude of A, then ds is same as that of magnitude of B into cosine of the angle theta. Hence, this RHS I can write it as the magnitude of A, that is our magnitude of d bar, into magnitude of B, that is magnitude of ds. Therefore, the equation will be d bar dot ds bar, or d bar dot ds is equal to magnitude of d bar into magnitude of ds into cos theta, according to the definition of the dot product. Then d bar dot ds, look back at the previous equation. D bar dot ds, or dn into ds, is our d psi, that is the total flux. dn dot ds or d psi is nothing but dn dot ds or dn dot ds here. Therefore, I will write it d psi is equal to d bar dot ds. Okay, d psi is equal to d bar dot ds. Hence, the total flux, this is the flux for that elemental surface. If I want the total flux, then what we are supposed to do? We have to, what we have to do, students? If you want the total flux, we have to integrate. We have to integrate. Therefore, I am integrating this d psi to get the total flux psi, that is closed surface integral of d bar dot ds, because it's a closed surface. Okay, it is not an open surface, it's a closed surface. Okay, that is d bar dot ds bar. That means here what we conclude here, students, irrespective of the shape of the surface and irrespective of the charge distribution, that is whether in the surface, closed surface, it's a point charge or line charge or volume charge, the total flux passing through the surface is nothing but the total charge enclosed by the surface. Okay, irrespective of the shape of the surface, whatever may be the shape of the closed surface and whatever may be the charge distribution, it may be a point charge or a line charge or a surface charge or a volume charge, right? The total flux passing through the surface is nothing but the total charge enclosed within that surface. Okay, hence we come to the conclusion that psi is equal to closed surface integral d bar dot ds bar. We know this formula, correct? It is flux by area. So flux is d psi divided by ds. ds and ds will cancel. Again, we'll get psi. What is psi? It is nothing but the charge q, correct? LHS is equal to RHS. Hence, we say that psi is nothing but closed surface integral of d bar dot ds bar, that is equal to q, which is the charge enclosed within the surface. Okay, so this is the important statement of the Gauss law and the mathematical representation or the mathematical definition of the Gauss law. That is psi is equal to closed surface integral d bar dot ds bar is equal to q, that is charge enclosed. Okay. In today's class, students, we have discussed, I think, from the electric flux density, the definition of electric flux density, that is D is equal to psi by S, flux per unit area. Then vector form of electric flux density, d bar is equal to d psi by ds, an bar coulomb per meter square. D bar due to point charge, we have found out d bar for this point charge here, which is at the center of the sphere, and it's given by d bar is equal to q by 4 pi r square, ar bar coulomb per meter square in the vector form. Relationship between d bar and e bar, it is given by, you have derived that equation. Sometimes this may be asked in examination. Find the relationship between d bar and e bar for the electric field. Okay, then you have to derive starting from the beginning. Okay, consider the equation for e bar, consider the equation for d bar, divide one by another, then you will get d bar is equal to epsilon e. For free space it will be d bar is equal to epsilon naught e bar. For if you are considering some medium, then it will be d bar is equal to epsilon e bar. Then for the volume charge distribution, is d bar is equal to volume integral rho v dv divided by 4 pi r square ar bar. Then we have solved an example on finding the electric flux density. Later, we have defined what is Gauss law, statement of the Gauss law. Then considering an irregular shaped surface, we have found out that, and we have derived that, we have proved that the total flux is nothing but surface integral d bar dot ds bar, that is q, that is charge enclosed. Okay, we have proved that, we have derived it, and the statement is irrespective of the shape of the surface and charge distribution, the total flux passing through the surface is nothing but total charge enclosed by the surface. Okay. Any difficulty here, students? Any problem in understanding? Students? Any difficulty here, students?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any problem in understanding? Harsh
No,
Gowda?
sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Sir,
No,
can
Understood,
you,
Yes, please.
sir, can you share the
Understood,
PPT?
sir.
You want to ask some question?
Sir,
PPT.
We need PPT.
PPT you want? I will send that. No problem.
Yes.
I'll send the PPT. Yes, sure. I'll send the
Okay.
PPT. Okay, fine. Anything else you want?
No,
You
sir.
want to ask anything? Okay, fine. Kirti, was it understood? Kirti?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any problem in understanding, Kirti?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Right. Okay. Sankalp?
Yes, sir.
Was it understood, Sankalp?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. Then students will continue in the next class with the other topics. We'll try to solve certain numericals and then we'll continue with the other topics. Okay. Thank you, students.